Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Conversations with Niss. This week, we are discussing an important topic, one that I feel is very important to our everyday lives as individuals in families, friendships, communities, and nations as a whole. It's the issue of contentment. Someone might ask, why contentment? Contentment is appreciating what you have and where you are now, knowing that greater and better seasons are coming up ahead of you. Contentment is being okay with what you have while you work for more, while you believe for more. The issue is a lot of people in this day and age are full of greed and envy for other people. They covet what their neighbors have. They wish they had what other people have. And it leads them on a path of struggling, striving, and going after things they have no business going after. But the word of God tells us in First Timothy 6 verse 6, that godliness with contentment is great gain. Godliness with contentment is great gain. When you are content with what you have, you are not looking at what other people have. What other people have is none of your business. You don't concern yourself with what you don't have. You appreciate what you have, you work with it, and create increase from where you are. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. This week, search yourself. Are you content with what you have? And by contentment, I by no means mean being overly satisfied with where you are to the point where you don't want progress. You are not trying to do more and be more and move ahead and get ahead in life. By contentment, I mean appreciating what you have and where you are, even in the process of seeking for more. It is focusing on what is in front of you rather than looking at your neighbor's green grass and wishing that it was yours. It is understanding that the grass is green where you water it and focusing on watering the grass so that it gets green where you are. So discontentment really is accompanied by greed and covetousness, like I've said before. And discontent people, greedy people, are never okay with what they have. They are always looking at what other people have. They're always looking at what the next person has, what the next person has. And it's not healthy. That, I believe, is what creates unhealthy competition amongst people. Because you are never satisfied with what you have and where you are. You're always looking at what the other person has, what the other person has, what the other person has, and what you don't have, rather than appreciating and seeing what you have and looking at ways on maximizing them and making the most out of them. Discontentment is what leads people down the rabbit hole of chasing things they can never have. If, in fact, they could sit and recognize that they already have what they need, they wouldn't be going after other people's assets or be envious of other people, because contentment makes you aware of what you already have and encourages you to use it wisely and utilize it well to make more out of what you have. If you're not content with $1, you will not be content with $1,000. If you are not content with $100, you will not be content with $1,000,000. Contentment is a state of being. It doesn't just happen when you acquire everything you want. It is a state of being. It is saying, I am happy where I am with what I have. I will utilize it and make the most out of it. I will water my grass and ensure that it is green, rather than covet what belongs to my neighbor. So sit down and take stock of your life. Ask yourself, in what areas am I being discontent, and how can I cultivate contentment? The thing is, if you do not learn to appreciate where you are now, it will be hard for you to appreciate it even when you get to the level that you are desiring to be at. And that's an issue. So I want you to live well. I want you to live a life of gratitude. That's one of the things that helps with contentment. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for where you are. That is the starting point of contentment. You will be shocked to know that you already have everything that you need in this moment, in this season, to live the life that you desire in this season of time. Gratitude is one of the sure ways that leads to contentment. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for where you are. Genuinely celebrate other people for what they have and the wins that they make. These are 2 suggestions on how you can build contentment and make the most out of what you have and where you are. I hope this helped you. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Conversations with Niss. As always, go out there, walk on water, and do great things. Bye.